Hi everyone, it is Fitz with your daily delivery. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing great, and I think we're all glad that that's behind us. We can move on now as a country and focus in on the things that are really important and come together as a community and embrace each other and find a brighter future for all of us in college football. Because last night we got our first college football playoff rankings, and America's happy about that. We don't talk about politics here. We do this. This is what we do. And also, I need to remind you to please subscribe to this YouTube channel, hit the thumbs up, and leave those comments. Look, we're getting close to 15K subscribers. If you're not subscribing, please do. Make a fat old man happy this election season, please. Okay, on with this DD about the CFP. And it's very interesting to me that the Big 12 did itself this dirty, because let's pop up the bracket right now. This is the top 12, and that's what we're after here. They ranked 25, and we'll get to that in a second. They're ranked 25 to get to the 12-team bracket. And in this case, they're all the top 12 because Boise State, the non-power representative, projected as a conference champion right now, slides in at 12. They'll be higher than that come time to actually put out the real bracket if they're still unbeaten. And that's got to be a concern for the Big 12, because BYU doesn't win out. The Big 12 may not get a bye. It might go to Boise. But let's look at the bracket here, because BYU does have that bye, but they're only ranked 9th at 8-0. And that's probably close. I would have them higher, and I'm going to explain why in a little bit. But let's take a look at the totality of the top 25 college football playoff rankings. And you'll see Iowa State there at 17, Kansas State at 19, and Colorado at 20. Where would have K-State and Iowa State been if they hadn't lost last weekend? Iowa State might have been in that top 12, but they're not. Now, let's zoom around to this fact. Indiana, for some baffling reason, is 8, and BYU is 9. This is not only disrespectful to the Big 12, but also to BYU and, honestly, the playoffs committee's own rankings. And let me explain why. If you compare the resumes, don't give me the eye test crap. Just let's compare the resumes right now. Because I don't care how good you look beating bad teams. I don't. That might mean you're just running up the score to impress people. Here's what I care about. Who have you beaten? Who have you competed against? And that's exactly the argument that holds the Big 12 back, doesn't it? You haven't beaten anyone. They're no good. Indiana at 9-0 right now has played one more game than BYU. Okay, so they've got that. They've got one more win. But what is their best win? Well, their only win over a team that currently has a winning record is over Washington at 5-4. Everyone else on that schedule, 8 teams that they've beaten, have losing records. And all 3 of their non-conference games, those opponents are at 3-6 right now. That doesn't sound like a really competitive schedule. But the Big 12's weak, right? Okay, so let's pop up BYU here. Let's look at their resume. I don't have it up there. You're not missing anything. I didn't prepare the resume. They're 8-0, one less game. Okay, fine. They have wins over 3 teams with winning records. 3. Well, here's why this doesn't make sense to me. There's no argument that they have better wins. Why? Because one of those wins is on the road against SMU, which is 13 in this very same poll. This rankings has SMU at 13. And Kansas State at 19, also lost to BYU. They have 2 wins over teams in this top 25. And yet they're behind a school that has none over top 25 teams. It's absurd. But this is apparently what the college football playoff thinks of the Big 12. That even when they beat good teams, it must be an aberration. They've bought in on Indiana and not as much on the Big 12. They'll straighten it out. Indiana's going to lose. But maybe BYU does too. And if someone else wins the Big 12, does BYU sneak in as an at-large bid? Maybe at 12-1? We're going to find out. But you got to get Indiana properly ranked. And oh yeah, Joel Klatt is crying about this, that Indiana isn't high enough. I am so tired of Fox and ESPN peddling their version of truth and gaslighting everyone just because they have TV contracts with these conferences. Again, Big 12, you got to get your own TV contract, your own network, your own platform, because people are out there fighting and it's not for your interests.